Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome dear students. In our lecture series on pharmaceutical production technologies, we were discussing about the drying technology. In some last lectures, we discussed about various aspects of drying, the concept of drying, the theory of drying, humidity, uh, different types of moistures. Then we studied the factors which can affect the drying. After that, we went for the classification of dryers on the different basis, metal handling, and on the basis of dosage form, and on the basis of heat transfer process. Now, after covering the spray dryer, now this is the time to move to the fluidized bed dryer. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss the fluidized bed dryer. So let's enjoy this lecture on fluidized bed drying. Dear students, after going through this lecture, you will be able to understand the concept of fluidized bed drying. You will be able to learn the construction and mechanism of fluidized bed dryer. You will be able in identifying the factors which are going to affect or which generally affect the fluidized bed drying, and you will come to know what are the applications of fluidized bed drying. Now, what is going to be our lesson plan? We will be covering fluidized bed dryer, its introduction, thereafter the construction, its mechanism, factors affecting the fluidized bed drying, then the application of FBD. So let's start our discussion on the fluidized bed drying in this lecture. Dear students, fluidized bed dryer is one of the most widely used dryer in pharma industry. With respect to the heat transfer mechanism, it is a convection type bed dryer as we have seen in the classification on the basis of heat transfer. And on the basis of solid handling, here material is agitated. Okay. And it is used for drying of solid products. It is vital dryer for every tablet plant at least. But not only drying is done here, the granulation, coating, microencapsulation and much more things can be done in the fluidized bed drying. Fluidization. What is fluidization? It is a unit operation by which fine solids are transformed into a fluid-like state through contact with a gas. At certain gas velocity, the fluid will support the particles, giving them freedom of mobility without entrainment. Such a fluidized bed resembles a vigorously boiling fluid with solid particles undergoing extremely turbulent motion, which increases with gas velocity. A fluidized bed is a bed of solid particles with a stream of air or gas passing upward through the particles at a rate great enough to set them in motion. The velocity is greater than the incipient fluidizing velocity but lower than the entrainment velocity. When the rate of flow of gas increases, the pressure drop across the bed also increases until at a certain rate of flow, the frictional drag on the particles equals to the effective weight of the bed. These conditions and the velocity of gas corresponding to it are termed incipient fluidization and incipient velocity respectively. If it, for example, let me elaborate this thing that if a gas is allowed to flow through a bed of particles of solids at a velocity greater than the settling velocity of the particle, the solids get partially suspended in the stream of upward moving gas, just like ping pong ball which is dancing in the flow of upward moving stream of any fluid. Okay, the gas stream negates the gravitational pull due to weight of the particles to enable the suspended state of the solid. The resultant mixture of solids and gas behave like a liquid and thus solids are called fluidized. So even the solid behave like a liquid, so that's why they are called as fluid and the state is fluidized here. The solid particles are continually caught up in the eddies and fall back in random boiling motion so that each fluidized particle is surrounded by the gas stream for efficient drying. So in this process of fluidization, there occurs an intense mixing between the solids or gas resulting in uniform condition of temperature, composition and particle size distribution throughout the bed. So this is the way we can understand the fluidization. Let me simplify again for you. Say for example, I often give this example in the classroom that imagine a hot air source and over it uh, hot air source, or you can say source of steam. Imagine a steam containing the bed of material to be dried over it, and then there is an upward movement that is called upward movement of air, that is booster process. Let me again more simplify you that if you are in kitchen, you are having a pressure cooker in which you have boiled the water and it is upon whistling it is providing the dry steam, not the wet. Okay, not the mist it is providing the hot steam, and over it you have put a sieve on which the wet leaves, tea leaves are there. Say for example, you are having that pressure cooker which is having 50 liter of 50 liter capacity, and over which you have a simple a small sieve you have kept. What will happen? The air, the steam which is coming from down to up movement, it will take up the entire material and the suspension stage. The Wooster process will be allowing these individual particle of tea leaves into the fluidized state. So they are in air, just like fountain. So due to that intimate contact, the fluidization takes the condition in such a way that there is intimate contact, and at a particular state when their frictional drag between the particles equal to the gravitational forces, they become in the fluidized state entirely, and they are just, you can say, flowing like liquid. At that time they dry very efficiently, and this is called fluidization, and this is the drying process involved here is called fluidized bed drying, because the drying is done on the fluidized bed of the material. Okay, so this is the simplest explanation I can give to you. Now let's move to pressure drop theory of fluidization. What we have discussed in the starting point that there is a pressure drop when the air is increased. If the air velocity through the bed is increased gradually, as you can see here, the pressure drop in the y-axis and the air velocity in the x-axis in this graph. Okay. If the air velocity through the bed is increased gradually and the pressure drop through the bed is measured, we are measuring the pressure drop on the bed. A graph of the operation shows the several distances in which pressure drop is there on y-axis and air velocity in x-axis. At first, what is happening in the beginning? Take the point A. Okay, in the point A, velocity is low. Flow takes place between the particles without causing disturbance. But as the velocity is increasing up to the point B, the velocity is increasing up to the point B here. When the point B is reached here, this point, here the gravitational force equals to the force of fluidization on that particle. So what is happening at this time? That rearrangement of the particles occurs to offer the least resistance. And after this resistance, when the rearrangement is there, a point C is reached. Here the rearrangement is there. So now the fixed bed at a point C is converted into a fluidized bed. So here the fluidization occurs and now the particles are suspended in the air and can move. So beyond the point C, at the maximum pressure drop, okay, at the maximum pressure drop, when the rearrangement is there, the fluidization begins. And now the entire solid bed in the fluidized state. Now at point B, the pressure drop through the bed decreases. You can see here the that pressure drop is decreasing slightly because of the greater porosity. Now further increase in the air velocity causes the particles to separate and move freely, and the bed is fully fluidized. So the bed is completely fluidized here. Any additional increase, if you again increase the air velocity at this time, at this stage, it separates the particles further, that is, they expand without the pressure drop. So you can see the pressure drop is not there in this region, in this stage. There is no appreciable change in the pressure drop until a point E. Here the air velocity is sufficient to transport the particles to the top of the bed. This is called initiation of entrainment. So overall, however, it follows again the air velocity is decreased after that time and it falls onto the bottom at the later stage. But this is the actual pressure drop theory of fluidization. We must understand this completely, that how pressure drop is controlling and the rearrangement is occurring, which is offering the least resistance, and then the fluidization occurs. Okay, so this is the way we can understand how fluidization is done in the fluidized bed dryer. So what are the advantages? It is a batch process for the vertical type of fluidized bed dryers. It is a batch process, but for the horizontal one it is a continuous one. For the other, we will be seeing it in the later section. Physical properties of the product like size, shape, moisture content and flow properties can be controlled. It provides rapid drying, just like the spray dryer you can see. The temperature distribution throughout the product is uniform and the heat transfer rate is very high. It is suitable for the thermolabile substances. So product is in close contact with the air and within short duration of action it gets heated up. So it does not require much time to get evaporated. The solid bed does not get the heat to increase its temperature for longer period of time. So that's why it's suitable for the thermolabile substances, most of the thermolabile substances also. And due to the continuous movement of product during the drying lump formation, case hardening, these things are minimized in the fluidized bed drying. So these are the advantages. Apart from this, uniform particle size can be obtained with the fluidized bed drying, labor and cost effective process it is, and it can be fully automated. Okay, and it is used for various purposes which we also be focusing later. What are the limitations? The equipment is very bulky. It needs multi-story. Okay, it needs a huge head space, and in pharma industry, it is it is installed in two stories. Okay, in upper story the operation done, and ground store in the ground floor the fluidized bed is introduced. So it's a huge one, especially in case of vertical, or even for horizontal it requires a lot of space. Local electric charges may be developed due to the high attribution, and obviously it is very expensive one. Now how these fluidized bed dryers can be used? They can be used for drying, granulation, coating, blending, microencapsulation, and much more methods also. But these are the major applications. So this is not just a dryer. It can be used also for the coating, granulation. These are the two major things. Many times people know it about with the name of FBG rather than the FBD. So fluidized bed dryer or fluidized bed granulator. Same thing, same process. Just a few changes are there in case of granulation or in case of coating, which we'll be discussing in our coming sections. Now let's see fluidized bed granulator first. It is a multiple step wet granulation process. All in one there. Preheating, granulation and drying of product is done in one single operation in the fluidized bed drying. It allows close control of the granulation process. So we can do the granulation with the help of fluidized bed drying, because granulation also involves the drying. So we can not only dry the product but also preheat and granulate in the FBG. So fluidized bed dryers are also used for fluidized bed coating, not only for drying. They are used in granulation drying and coating. Worcester, 1959, first described the application of sugar or film coating to tablets suspended in the airstream. So that's why the name of the process is on the scientist name Worcester. It has got the major components like heater, perforated basket, air and coating spray gun, filter bags. So coating spray guns are the important component in the fluidized bed coating. Various branded coating solutions are available for using in the fluidized bed coating. Now let us see construction of fluidized bed dryer, that vertical type. As you can see in this graph, in this figure, that there is first is product container. Product container, as you can see, this is the product container. Okay, blower fan. Okay, blower fan is here. Air inlet pre-filters are there, in which inlet air is first pre-filtered, then it is heated. Air heaters are there. Spray nozzles are there. Spray nozzles help in spraying that liquid which is for use for coating, and the coating liquids can be given, and also the granulating liquid granulation can be done. Then these are the filter bags in which the fines are collected, and the last component you can say air volume control flaps. So what is happening, that air is entering into the air through the pre-filter, it is heated, and then after heating the air enters from the bottom of through the perforated basket. This is the perforated basket, and the air takes this bed makes this bed fluidized, and the process that Worcester process is there, and in the fluidized state, if you add the granulation liquid or coating liquid, it will act as a coater. Otherwise, the hot air entering into the fluidized bed will coat this, will dry this substance. So this can be used in the multiple ways. Now moving to the construction of fluidized bed dryer horizontal. In the horizontal one, the entire assembly, in rather than the vertical, it is horizontal. As you can see, it may be used as a continuous process. There is a vibrating conveyor belt is there, which takes the material from the surface to from continuously to the fluidized bed dryer, that container, product container, and which is there, and then this the rest of the process is similar as per the vertical type one. It can be used for providing the continuous drying with the help in the fluidized bed dryer. Okay. In the fluidized bed dryer, as we have discussed, the motion is either top spray, bottom spray, or tangential spray. The spraying of liquid, or in case of you can say when we are spraying with the help of that coating liquid, the coating liquid may be introduced from top. Air is coming from down to up, okay, and the spraying liquid from top to down. So top spray or the bottom spray, even the spray is co-current with the air, so then it will be having a Worcester coating. Or tangential spray may also be there when we give the tangential entry of the material, okay, then the that coating material, then the fluidized bed coating can be effectively used. And all the types of spray has different advantage, different depending on the material to be coated, depending upon the coating solution, its viscosity type. You can choose in between these sprays, top, bottom, or tangential. Okay. Now let us see how the fluidized bed coating occurs. First is charging process, in which it is charged with the material. Then the fluidization occurs, the air entering from the bottom and takes the entire solid bed into the Worcester form in the Worcester process, and fluidization occurs there, and the constant in the constant air stream. Then the sprayer, if the coating is done, then spraying with the material is given, and the spraying is having after the uniform coat, reproduction granulation process it is providing, and the granules which are agglomerated each other are dried in the later phases. Okay, when they are having this a coat of that complete uniform coating, and then they after the spraying the granules are dried, and this process carries uh, uh, again and again and again. You can say the charging can be done, and then this process can be very helpful for uniform coating of the material or the granulation, and in one single equipment we can perform all these steps. Okay, so charging, fluidization, spraying, and then drying. So these are four major steps by which we can achieve the uniform and effective coating in the fluidized bed dryer with the help of the efficient sprays and the Worcester process. So let us understand the fluidized bed coating in detail. Uh, Again, now let me explain the fluidized bed coating with this GIF. You know, the spraying solution is there, as you can see here. Each particle is getting the coat, uh, continuous coat there. Then uniform coating is done, and at last you can say the particle is having the core and the coating material. Okay. So again, as you can see, this coating is done, spray guns, continuous spraying. As you can see, compare the things. What is going on here is the particles, and the particle is uniformly coated with the help of this core. This core is completely coated. Okay. Hope you have got what is happening in the fluidized bed coating process with the help of this beautiful GIF. Okay. Now we have seen that how it is used in the coating and the granulation fluidized bed. Let's focus on the components of fluidized bed dryer. It comprises of number one, air handling unit, AHU, because the control of air is very important. Then the product container and the air distributor is there, because the product container is having the perforated basket. Spray nozzles, as we can see here, the different types of spray nozzles may be there. Okay, so single or multiple spray nozzles may be there, and spray guns may be there. Disengagement area and process filters. After that, exhaust blower or fan, the control system, and the solution delivery system in case of coating be required. So these are the major components. We have also discussed at the time of discussing the construction of the fluidized bed dryer, all these components. So let's keep in mind the air handling unit, product container, distributor, spray nozzle, disengagement area, exhaust blower or fan, control system, and solution delivery system. These are the major components of fluidized bed dryer. Now let us understand the fluidized bed dryer through this small video, and please pay your attention what is going on in this video, and it will give you the actual processing of fluidized bed dryer in industry setup. Now, what are the critical factors? Let us discuss that what are the critical factors. Let's enumerate them. Air flow rate, temperature and humidity. Air flow rate determines the efficiency of drying. The quality of air with respect to temperature and humidity defines the quality of drying, the efficiency of drying, the overall drying rate and overall drying process. Types, location, positioning, direction of spray nozzles govern the fluidized bed coating or the granulation process. The feed rate, especially when we are talking about the horizontal one, because in the batch process the feed rate is constant. You have already given in the single one, and that remember that the container basket is the mobile one, and it can be taken. You need not to touch the material, and the entire assembly can be replaced by the newer assembly of that particular basket. So it can be done very easily with the movable lower bottom. That basket can be replaced by the newer one. But the feed rate is responsible, or you can say it must be counted and taken care of when the feed rate of coating solution is to be considered. At that time, the coating solution must be considered, that at which rate you are giving this spray material or that coating material. Okay, it should be neither too low nor too high. And we have discussed in the coating defects in the case of tablets, so we are not going into the detail. These are all relevant to that perspective. You can discuss, you can go through our lectures on the tablet coating. Here there we have discussed various tablet defects or tablet coating defects. Then the fine generation and separation. Fines in this, because in the turbulent motion, a huge amount of fines are generated. So fines generation and its separation from the product are the critical factors. Otherwise, it is going to affect the overall quality of the dried product. So these are some major critical factors, and you know that the fine we have controlled through the effective filter bags and cartridges which are replaced time to time. Okay, so just take care of these factors, and then the fluidized bed drying will be quite effective one. Okay. Now, let us classify. We have talked about the gross critical factors. If you say the critical factors, classifying the critical factor with respect to the formulation, equipment and process, the formulation related factors include properties of primary material, binder, excipient, etc. If equipment related variables are to be considered, what are the variables? The design of the fluidized bed dryer, the design of the nozzles, design of the perforated basket, air distribution, pressure drop, filter cleaning. All these are equipment related variables which can affect the overall fluidized bed drying. As far as the process related factors are concerned, process inlet air temperature, atomization air pressure, okay, and fluidization air velocity and volume, liquid spray rate, nozzle position and number of spray heads, product and exhaust air temperature, filter porosity and cleaning frequency, and that bowl capacity, that container capacity. So this we have categorized. First we discuss in gross to open up your mind so that we can pinpoint the factors. So from exam point of view, it's better to systematically present the critical factors on the basis of formulation, equipment and process related variables. So please do learn these factors, and you must have an idea that how each and individual variable is affecting the overall process of drying. Now, what are the advancement in the fluidized bed drying? First advancement is automation. So many things have been automated. You just have to click some buttons and everything will be set up. The charge, you just need to charge in the bowl, the container with the material to be dried, and rest of the things are automated in most of the advanced machines which are available and which are being used in the pharma industry nowadays. Advanced controls like pneumatic control panels are available now. Various NIR, near infrared, for inline quality assurance is being used. Self-organizing maps, artificial neural networks, these are the advancement in the field of fluidized bed dryer equipment, and other processing advancement are also there. So we are not going into detail. Please go refer to the further readings which we are going to recommend. As for the pharmaceutical applications are concerned, what are the major applications? Let me remind you, it is used for blending, granulation, drying, coating and microencapsulation. So these are the 5 major pharmaceutical applications of fluidized bed dryer or granulator or coater. Okay. These are some of the further readings which I recommend for you especially with respect to the fluidized bed coating. Beautiful application, beautiful representation there in Theory of Practice of Industrial Pharmacy, Lachman, and Banker Road's Modern Pharmaceutics there, and you can also refer the other books. So let me summarize our lecture that fluidized bed dryer is the most popular dryer in pharma industry. It is used uh, for blending, drying, coating, granulation, microencapsulation. So it's a multi-purpose use are there. So it is relatively rapid dryer. It provides effective drying, also suitable for the thermolabile or heat sensitive materials. Okay, so it is a dryer in which the material is agitated, and the convection type dryer it is. How the limitation involved that it is expensive, bulky, and head space is very high, very huge. Okay, and some local charges may be developed in some drugs used. We have discussed that it is used for various purposes like blending, drying, coating, granulation, microencapsulation. So what is happening here in the fluidized bed dryer? Heated air, pre-filtered heated air enters into the solid bed, takes the bed in with the air upstream, and it is fluidized there. Okay, due to that pressure drop at a certain speed, when the rearrangement is done, when the gravitational force equals to the that frictional drag, they become in the fluidized state, and this fluidization gives effective drying. So what are the factors which can affect the fluidization and fluidized bed dryer? We have seen that what are the formulation related factor, what are the equipment related factor, what are the process related factor which are critical for the fluidized bed drying. Please go through each and every factor, and applications of fluidized bed dryer. We have discussed that in the various coating, and we have also shown with live videos to you that how they can be used for the coating, granulation. Hope you have got the essence of the fluidized bed dryer in this lecture. I request you to go through the various factors whatever we discussed, especially the theory of fluidized bed drying, that pressure drop theory. You must learn verbatim with that curve point having point A, B, C, D, E. Okay, and thereafter the drawing of vertical and the component of the vertical fluidized bed dryer you must learn. Okay, the drawing must be learned, must be known to you, so that you can easily reproduce in your exam. These are some important aspects which are almost asked in the exam. So this was all for the fluidized bed dryer. We'll be coming up with another dryer in our next lecture. Thank you for being with me. Happy learning.